Hi everybody, Rusty Blackwood here, and I'd like to welcome you to my loft once again. It's March 2nd, and it is a lovely, lovely day outside today. It is exciting because in 19 days, spring officially arrives, and everybody, is excited and thinking about the nice weather coming, although it will be a while before it actually gets here because March can be a month of many weathers, and April can be, another month of many weathers. And by the time we get into May, um, or even late April, you can pretty much count on the weather cooperating when you want to go out someplace and not have to worry about driving in inclement weather or driving on ice or snow or treacherous roads, things like that. Um, and so I look forward to this time of the year every year, even though my very favorite time of the year is early fall, as I've stated before in some of my videos. I love the change in the air, the crispness that comes into the air. It's clean and it's cool, and when you pull it into your lungs, it really gives you that boost of oxygen that you need after the heat of the summer. And of course, the the trees, the leaves are starting to turn color, and very pretty time of the year. And but I like late spring as well. Once everything is starting to mature, like the flowers are up, the leaves are coming onto the trees, and everything is renewed. It really gives you a lift, realizing that the new cycle has fully begun, and it's going to carry through again like it does every season, every year. Um, in Canada here, well, everywhere has 4 seasons, and but not everywhere the seasons are as noticeable in their change and what each one holds as it is here in Canada, and of course the northern United States as well, because their temperatures, your temperatures there are very similar to ours here in Canada. And where I am is in southern Ontario, and so we're considered we're considered the deep south of Canada, and of course much warmer than it is up in northern Ontario for sure. And so I wanted to come on today and just talk a little bit about my upcoming um, the second part of Return to Autumn, which is the sequel to my 5-star multi-award winner, The Perils of Autumn. And Return to Autumn is out in 2 parts. The first part is already out, and the second part is scheduled to release in late April in celebration of the Kentucky Derby that runs the first Saturday of May each year. And also, I just released the official theatrical trailer for Return to Autumn Part 1, which is this novel right here. And it is also was awarded 5 stars from readers' favorite books. And it picks up 4 years later after where the Perils of Autumn leaves off, and takes you through, and Return to Autumn Part 2 will take you through to the end of the trilogy. And so I will be putting a link for the official trailer down at the bottom here in the information area, and you can check that out and click on it, and it can take you there, and you can watch the trailer yourself. The trailer is on my website here, on my YouTube, I should say, on my YouTube channel, and it is on my website, my official website, rusty-blackwood.com. And I have been promoting it around, and it is, you know, getting some good views by people, and so I hope you enjoy it. If you take a chance and watch it, it's just not even 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I think it's 2 minutes and 37 seconds, something like that. And it's really, theatrical trailers, first of all, they're important for a book because they give the viewer a choreographed insight into the book itself and what you can expect. And I never cease to be amazed at the theatrical trailers that I have for each of my novels. My marketing rep and publicist and producer, Don McCauley, does these trailers for me. And each one, there's, each one so far for each novel I've done: Passions in Paris, Revelations of a Lost Diary, Willow's Walk, and The Perils of Autumn, and now Return to Autumn Part 1, and the upcoming official trailer for Return to Autumn Part 2 will be coming, I would think, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, if not before. And I can never say that I'm disappointed with the quality of the trailers that Don has done. We do them together, but I mean, he is the one that actually puts them all together, and I'm always so proud of them, and I can't wait to share them with you readers, and so I hope you will continue to stay up to date with me on what's happening. And I don't have a lot to talk about right now because there's not a lot going on right now. When spring sets in, then I would expect that I can come on and talk about some upcoming events that will be happening, like local events in my own area, where readers in my area and that can come and meet me and check out my work and pick up copies if you choose to. And but right now I use the internet for book tours for my books, and Return to Autumn Part 1 is on its second internet book tour, and it has been revisiting the different sites that it was on the first time it took a tour on the internet, and it will be continuing to do more, and as well as my prior books. From time to time I put them on and let them take a tour around, and helps to refresh people's mind about them, and that they all my work is available on Amazon, all Amazons worldwide. Most of them are available all of them are available in ebook, Kindle, paperback, and The Perils of Autumn and Return to Autumn Part 1, as well as Part 2 when it comes out, will be available, or are available in hardback as well. And so when you write, you have to try to make it available in as many formats as you can, because everybody has their favorite formats for reading. Some people like to read a Kindle on their tablet or online or even on their phone, and some prefer paperback. I think paperbacks probably are the most popular, simply because they're very portable, they're flexible, of course, and you can shove them in your suitcase, whereas a hardback takes up it's rigid and you can't bend it, things like that. So cheers. I'm having some ginger ale here while I talk to you. And so I don't know what else I want to talk about today. There's been some, of course, a lot of things going on in the world that continue to go on, and it just seems like there's no end in sight to all of the, well, I don't even know the right word to come up with, criminality and all of the underhanded lies and cover-ups and you name it. The governments, seems like the governments in all countries each have their hat in the ring there, and I think one fully as much as the next. But I'm a true believer in everything balancing out. Sooner or later, what seems like going always in the way, like negativity and all that's going on, sooner or later will balance, and the pendulum will start to swing the other way, which I think is already starting. Can see some areas of positivity happening, and that is a real lift. It's a real boost to know that is happening. Truth is getting out. Truth always gets out. Sooner or later, truth will always surface. As much as it tries to be buried constantly in the sand, with people's heads in the sand, there's enough people that are taking a stand, and a proper stand, and not backing down and not backing away. And that is what it's going to take. Everybody standing locked together and being firm in the word no more. And so let me see, what else can we talk about? As you know, I don't work with a script where I can refer to a script to continue talking about whatever it is that I've been talking about, or a new topic to begin talking about. And so it's got to come off the top of my head, and sometimes it comes very easily. It's, very sharp. It's like bang, and it's there. And other times, it might appear like I'm struggling to talk about something, and but sooner or later something always comes into my head. I was watching a video this morning that I had done back in 2019 in my On the Patio series that I did, which was a full 12 videos that I did, not back to back, but within a week to a couple of weeks of each other. And I did them outside on my patio. It was in the summer of 2019 that I did them, and I forget just which number it is, whether it's number 6 or number 7, because I did it in August, on the 13th of August, and it was all about my dear friend Sam Restivo, who passed away on August 13th, 2018. And I had done this video in remembrance of Sam on the 1 year anniversary of his passing. And it's on my YouTube channel, so if you get a chance you can check it out. And I was just, I was talking about Sammy, and about how we come to know each other. I mean, Sam was an exceptionally talented man. He was photographer, and well, he was sort of a jack of all trades, but he excelled in photography, did a tremendous amount of photography uh, with me. I was helping him get back into the swing of it again. He used to do photography professionally, had gotten away from it, and had wanted to get back into it. And so he had asked me if I would help him, because, as I say in the video, he knew that I was very comfortable in front of a lens. And after working in music, and you have to do a lot of PR and things like that, so you're in front of a camera lens quite often, and so he knew I was comfortable with that, and so I had agreed to help him and get back into it with a variety of different types of shoots that we did, and we had a lot of fun doing it as well. It's a lot of hard work, as I say in the video. Like, anybody that thinks photography and modeling is easy, it can be very strenuous, and it can be tedious, and it can be very tiring trying to keep everything looking fresh and spot on, like at the moment type of action or whatever it is that the shoot is calling for. And sometimes you have to repeat, and you have to go over and over and over what it is that the photographer is trying to achieve, and it's up to the model to give it, act it out and give it. And sometimes it didn't take me too long, and other times it took me longer, because it just, there would be something that just didn't turn out exactly the way that Sam had envisioned it, or the way that he wanted it. And so, which would mean retakes, and we'd have to go through it again, or adjusting the lighting or something like that. And we just worked, the two of us. I mean, he didn't have an assistant loading his camera for him, because Sam worked with film, not digital like it is today. All photographers work with digital now, but this was back in the early 1990s, and Sam was working, of course, with film, and digital photography was just starting at that point in time. But Sammy didn't use it. He preferred film, and of course that's what he shot. And so as I say, he didn't have an assistant working with him loading his different cameras. He had to do that himself, and of course that all took time. And the same with me. I didn't have an assistant helping me. I had to do everything myself, my changes of costume or outfit that was required for the shoot, as well as my makeup and my hair. I had to do all of that myself, and of course that's time consuming. Whereas if you work, I have done shoots where in the past where you had assistants there doing it for you, like you touch-ups and things like that, and it made the time move along easier. Seemed like you got more done, because you didn't have to stop and have to do it yourself. But because Sammy was rehoning his skills and everything, these weren't serious shoots where he was going to be selling these photographs. He did go into competition once, and he'd asked me if I would assist him and model for him, and the first prize was a trip for two to the Grecian Islands. And wouldn't that have been a hoot? It would have been really, to go to Greece and to be able to cruise the islands and things, that would have been fantastic. But of course, we didn't make it that far. But he did get an honorable mention. And that in itself, in a competition like that, I don't know how many entries there were, but it was a considerable amount. And Sam got an honorable mention. And so I was very pleased to be able to do that and help him get that. And I remember the set. It was very, I wouldn't say sepia. It wasn't black and white, but it wasn't sepia either. It was a very, very pale color. And I can remember I was wearing a very pastel lavender Georgette blouse. And it was see-through, of course. And I had very long hair at that time. And I was sitting with my back sort of like this, and I was sort of looking over my shoulder toward the camera. And he had me hold my one arm, my one hand and my arm up underneath my hair and hold the back of my hair quite high. And he had this fan set pointing. It was on the floor and it was pointing upward, but it was at my back, and it was blowing my hair up and out and forward, and the illusion that you got in the finished product looked as though I had this enormous hat on, like a dark hat, and with a huge brim, whereas in reality there was no hat. It was hair, and it was the way my arm was positioned around, and you couldn't see my hand because it was under my hair, but it just, with the shadows from the lighting and the position of my arm and the wind blowing it, that was the finished shoot. That was the photograph that he entered. And it was really cool. I don't recall if he named the photograph. If he did, I can't recall what it was. I have that photograph, and when I do a future video, I'll make sure that I have it and I'll show it to you, because when I was going to do this today, as I say, I don't do a script or anything, and I didn't realize that one thing would lead to another where I start to talk about it, and so I don't have it here with me to show you, otherwise I would, but I will. And so I was very pleased to think how well that photograph did, to bring him an honorable mention. And so Sam and I didn't get to the Grecian Islands, but we had a fantastic time doing that shoot. And like we did pretty much with any of the shoots that we did. I mentioned one we did down in Niagara Falls, Ontario, in the middle of the winter in front of the American Falls. That was very, very cold, I remember, but I as I had mentioned, I was wearing a full-length mink coat and a mink hat, and so I was not cold. But poor Sam, he wasn't letting on that he was freezing, but he obviously he was, and he couldn't hold his camera, the different cameras that he had with him. I think he had about 3 different cameras, and he couldn't. He had gloves, but they were fingerless, like they were like Scrooge gloves, like there was no the ends were cut out so that he could touch the different buttons that he needed to touch. Whereas had he had the ends of his fingers covered as well, he wouldn't have been able to have felt his way, with all the different things that were on these cameras. And so, but he was cold, and I felt for him. But I mean, he was more concerned that about me as usual, because that was the way Sam was. He was just always more concerned about everybody else around him before himself, and so that I kept assuring him, no, I'm fine. I'm warm. That this was pure mink. This was not faux mink. This was the real deal. And I'm sure had some activists been there, like animal activists, maybe I would have been getting eggs thrown at me or something, because how dare she wear pure fur. But I don't care. I mean, when you stop and think about it, if it keeps the animal warm, it's going to keep a human being warm. That only stands to reason. And I once had a rabbit jacket as well, and it was very, very warm. But I just feel that I think the Lord created different things for different reasons, and I don't believe in killing an animal for sport. If you need the meat or you need the hide for clothing and for warmth, that's different. But to just go out and for target practice, or go out heartlessly killing them and for sport, and just leave them there, to me that is a sin, and it's heartless, it's soulless, and I would not have 1 ounce of remorse for them if they could be hauled away in cuffs, because that's just unacceptable in my own views, and I'm sure many others as well. And so the next time when I have my next video that I do, I will make sure that I write down some topics to talk about, so it runs maybe a little bit smoother from topic to topic, instead of sitting here, twiddling my thumbs and trying to think about something to talk about. But so I'm going to have another little sip here. It always helps to have something to wet your whistle when you're talking. And so I'm almost to my 30-minute mark, and it's a good thing this doesn't work like certain telephones, especially like in England and in the British Isles over there, where people buy time on the phone, and when that time is up, whether they're done their conversation or not, it just stops. It just shuts off. I've got a very nice friend in Ireland. He's a fireman in Dublin, and he calls me occasionally. And if you're watching this, hi Johnny, I hope everything's going well with you. And he will call me periodically, and we have a bit of a catch up. And but he's on time, and all of a sudden, like, we could be, having a conversation, and then it's done. Like, I get dial tone because he's used up his time, and he's done. So I wasn't sure, what is this? Like, what's going on here? So I asked him one time, and he said, yeah, they purchase, at least he purchased a certain amount of time, and it would be costly because it's overseas. It would be costly. And so, and when that time is up, conversation is done. You're done, whether you're done or you're not, but you're finished. And so now that I know, whenever he does call, I always make it a point. I'm almost like so fast to try to get a conversation in, and with his accent, Irish accent, it can be difficult to understand what he's saying. So I have to keep asking him a couple of times to repeat what he said. And of course, for him, I'm the one with the accent. And anybody that would be listening into the conversation, I'm sure, would be getting quite a laugh. And so I'm over 30 here, so I'm going to say bye-bye for now. I'm going to thank you for tuning in here and sticking with me and watching through here and listening to what I'm having to say. And please like the video, please comment the video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and help my numbers grow. And so do look below in the description area, and I will put the direct link to the official theatrical trailer for Return to Autumn 2, so you can have a look yourself. And please like it as well, comment it, and share it on. And I'll be back soon, coming up to St. Patrick's Day, so I will be coming back soon to do my St. Patrick's Day video. And then we'll go on from there. So everybody have a really good rest of your day, wherever you are, evening or whatever. And I will be back soon to talk to you again. God's blessings to all of you. Stay well, everybody. Keep smiling. Stay positive. Stand strong. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.